All right, today we're diving deep into Raththam. This is a 2024 psychological thriller that really gets under your skin with one terrifying question. What if the person who pulls the trigger isn't the real killer? We're about to go on a journey into the darkest corners of manipulation, where the line between justice and revenge gets really, really blurry. So let's get right into it. And this right here, this is the chilling idea at the very heart of the film. It's telling us that the killers we're seeing aren't the real villains. Nope. They're just puppets, victims themselves, caught up in some twisted, deadly game. So you gotta ask, right? Who's the one pulling the strings? And more importantly, who's gonna be brave enough to finally cut them? So let's meet our protagonist, Ranjith Kumar, played by the fantastic Vijay Antony. But here's the thing. When the story kicks off, the guy we meet, he's no hero, not even close. He's basically a ghost of the man he used to be. You know, to really get Ranjith, you have to look at him as two different people. In the past, this guy was a total powerhouse, a fearless investigative journalist who made a living exposing monsters. But now, he's just broken. A horrible tragedy completely shattered his world, and he walked away from everything. His job, his identity, even his own courage. He's just hiding from the world. But you know how it is. A guy like Ranjith can't stay in the shadows forever. Sooner or later, the past comes knocking. An old colleague gives him a call about a pretty shocking murder, and something about it feels way too familiar. It's the one thing that could pull him right back into the very life he fought so hard to leave behind. And bam! This is where those old journalistic instincts just fire right back up. He immediately sees something nobody else does. This isn't just some random killing. He knows, instinctively, that the person who pulled the trigger isn't the mastermind. They're just a tool, a weapon being used by someone else, someone hiding in the shadows. And as you'd expect, as more bodies start turning up, the whole city just spirals into chaos. Panic is spreading like wildfire. I mean, the police are totally clueless, basically chasing ghosts. The newsroom where Ranjith used to work, they're terrified. The entire city is gripped by this awful fear that, really, the killer could be anyone. Your neighbor, your friend, anyone. So, what happens next? Ranjith goes back. He doesn't really have a choice, does he? He's the only one who seems to see the pattern in all this madness. But let me tell you, the investigation he's about to start, it's like nothing he has ever faced before. What Ranjith and his partner, Malika, figure out pretty fast is that they're up against the perfect crimes. Seriously. There are no fingerprints, no real motive, no suspects. And get this, every clue just seems to be a trap. Even crazier, every time they get close to a suspect, that person ends up being the next victim. It's like the killer is always one step ahead. So this becomes the million-dollar question, right? The thing that drives this whole investigation. How in the world do you hunt a killer who never leaves a clue? And that's when it hits Ranjith. The answer isn't about finding a person, it's about figuring out their incredibly twisted method. And as he digs deeper and deeper, Ranjith starts to realize he's not just hunting some run-of-the-mill serial killer. No, what he's after is something way more terrifying. He's hunting a master manipulator, a psychological puppeteer. See, this villain doesn't use a knife or a gun. Their weapons are so much more sinister. They use guilt, fear, and hidden secrets. They find regular, everyday people and weaponize their deepest, darkest traumas, twisting their minds until they become unwilling assassins. It's absolutely chilling. And the way they do it is just methodical and super creepy. Step 1, they choose a target, someone with a big secret or a whole lot of guilt. Step 2, they weaponize that guilt, psychologically torturing them until they just can't take it anymore. And then, step 3, they offer this twisted form of redemption. Go kill this other person, and poof, an innocent person becomes a killer. And this is where it all clicks. This is where you see the true motive. It's not really about the murders. The deaths are almost beside the point. The puppeteer's real goal, it's all about control. It's about proving they have the power to make anyone do anything. It's one horrifying game of psychological chess. But then, the biggest twist of all drops. And it's a bombshell. This entire wave of terror, this whole string of murders, it was all a game designed for just one person. And that final target is Ranjith. The ultimate goal isn't just to kill him, It's to break him, to turn him into a puppet, just like everyone else. And that, right there, sets the stage for the final showdown. It is intense. Ranjith doesn't just have to face this evil mastermind. He also has to finally confront the demons from his own past, the very things he's been running from this whole time. And that climax, man, it's an absolute collision course. It is just brutal, both physically and emotionally.
It's so smart. A total battle of wits. A mind game where literally every single word is a potential weapon.
And the ending? It's completely explosive. All these secrets that have been buried for so long finally come rushing to the surface in the most dramatic way you can imagine. When you boil it all down, this whole thing is one man's fight for redemption. Ranjith isn't just fighting to unmask a killer or save the city. He's fighting to get his own soul back. He's fighting for redemption from the tragedy that shattered his life in the first place. And that really gets to the core theme of the movie, you know? It's this powerful idea that fear can turn people into monsters, but courage can turn one broken man into the hero nobody saw coming. It's about how the same pressure can either crush you or forge you into something stronger. And the film leaves you with this one last, kind of haunting question to chew on. How thin is the line between justice and revenge? I mean, really, when does the fight for what's right just become payback? Raththam doesn't hand you an easy answer. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it a movie that will stick with you long after the credits roll.